In this video, we'll be taking a look at 2 NBA games happening on December 25th, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 4 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 2 NFL games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. San Antonio Spurs versus New York Knicks. Christmas Day brings with it the excitement of NBA basketball, offering fans a jam-packed slate of games, including an intriguing interconference matchup at one of the most iconic venues in sports. The San Antonio Spurs will hit the road to face the New York Knicks on Wednesday afternoon at Madison Square Garden. San Antonio is coming off a tough game Monday night against the Philadelphia 76ers, where they fought hard but ultimately fell short in a 111-106 defeat. Despite the loss, they managed to cover the spread as 5.5-point underdogs. Meanwhile, the Knicks hosted the Toronto Raptors in an Atlantic Division showdown the same evening, cruising to an impressive 139-125 victory. In that contest, New York easily covered the spread as 13.5-point favorites. Historically, the Spurs hold the edge in the all-time regular season series between the two teams, with a 58-45 record, including a 130-126 overtime win in their most recent clash on March 29, 2024. The Spurs will enter this game with a fully healthy roster, while the Knicks are still without the services of Mitchell Robinson. For San Antonio, the second-year sensation Victor Wembanyama continues to show marked improvement, supported by experienced veterans like Chris Paul and Scottie Barnes. However, their road record has been less than stellar, standing at just 4-7 this season. This creates a daunting task as they face a Knicks team that has been on a tear, winning 9 of their last 11 games. New York has been dominant at home with a 9-4 record, and the addition of Karl Anthony Towns has significantly bolstered their performance on both offense and defense. With Towns and Jalen Brunson forming a dynamic duo, the Knicks have excelled, particularly in perimeter shooting. Despite Wembanyama's talent, it's a tall order for him to carry the Spurs on his own in such a competitive environment. New York has been solid against the spread when playing at home, with a 7-5-1 record. Their starting lineup appears to be hitting its stride, as evidenced by their 4-game winning streak and victories in 9 of their last 11 outings. The Knicks' offense ranks 7th in scoring and 3rd in field goal percentage, highlighting their efficiency. On the other hand, the Spurs are still developing their identity as a young team. They rank 20th in both field goal percentage and 3-point shooting, leaving room for the Knicks to capitalize in a high-energy Christmas setting at Madison Square Garden. A fast-scoring run could give the Knicks the cushion they need to secure a comfortable victory. Notably, the Spurs are 8-10 shillings as underdogs, further solidifying the Knicks' favorable position in this matchup. While the Spurs have exceeded expectations for a young team, their wins have primarily come against weaker opponents like the Pelicans and the Trail Blazers. Conversely, the Knicks are one of the hottest teams in the league, with 6 of their last 7 victories coming by double-digit margins. Although the Knicks have been inconsistent at times this season, their recent performances, 4 consecutive wins and 7 covers in their last 10 games, demonstrate their growing cohesion. Even with an early tip-off on Christmas Day, the atmosphere at Madison Square Garden is sure to be electric, providing the Knicks with an additional boost. So the New York Knicks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Offensively, the Knicks have been on a roll, surpassing the 130-point mark in 2 of their last 3 games. This impressive scoring run includes a victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves, a team that has ranked 1st in defensive rating over the past 10 games. In contrast, the Spurs rank a modest 23rd in defensive rating over the same span, placing them well below the caliber of New York's recent opponents. While Victor Wembanyama is emerging as a leading candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, he faces a tough challenge in Karl Anthony Towns, one of the league's best floor-spacing big men. Towns' ability to stretch the floor will create opportunities for the Knicks to attack the paint, where Jalen Brunson should thrive against the older and less mobile Chris Paul. The Spurs' relatively fast tempo, they rank 12th in pace over the past 10 games, could lead them to push the ball up the court quickly in an effort to exploit the Knicks' vulnerability in transition. New York ranks just 22nd in opponent fast break points per game during this stretch. Additionally, the Knicks have been lights out from beyond the arc, ranking second in the league in three-point shooting percentage over the last 10 games. When it comes to the over-under, both teams have shown a tendency to hit the over. The Spurs have exceeded the total in 16 of their 29 games this season, including 7 of their 11 road contests. Meanwhile, the Knicks have also gone over in 16 of their 29 games, with 7 overs in their last 10 home games. Despite New York's deliberate pace, they rank 28th in tempo. Their offensive efficiency more than compensates for it. Given the Spurs' struggles in defending the perimeter, they rank 26th in opponent three-point percentage. New York is well positioned to capitalize and continue their recent scoring surge. As such, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Dallas Mavericks. The NBA presents an exciting 5-game schedule on Christmas Day, featuring a thrilling Western Conference matchup between the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Dallas Mavericks. This matinee game promises an engaging contest as both teams aim to make their mark in the competitive conference standings. In terms of player availability, the Timberwolves continue to feel the absence of Joe Ingles and Daishen Nix, while the Mavericks are missing Brandon Williams. Additionally, Jaden Hardy is listed as questionable for Dallas. The Timberwolves enter this clash in desperate need of a victory, having faltered significantly in their last 3 games. Unfortunately for them, they face a Mavericks team that has found its stride and been on a hot streak over the past 3 weeks. When these teams last squared off on November 29th, Dallas emerged victorious with a 120-114 win. The Minnesota Timberwolves have struggled to live up to expectations this season, a trend highlighted by their 3 consecutive losses. They hold a disappointing 11-17 record against the spread. Meanwhile, the Dallas Mavericks have been surging, boasting an 8-2 record straight up and 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games. For the season, they're 17-11-1 against the spread and have dominated the Timberwolves in recent matchups, winning 5 of their last 6 encounters. Adding to Minnesota's woes, 8 of their 14 losses have occurred on the road. Minnesota's most recent outing was a disappointing blowout loss to the Atlanta Hawks on Monday night, falling 117-104 for their 3rd straight defeat. Now they travel to Dallas for this high-stakes Christmas Day matchup. The Timberwolves were plagued by turnovers in that game, with Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards combining for 13 giveaways. This duo has faced a rough patch recently, contributing to the team's 2-4 straight-up record over their last 6 games. Despite being recognized for their strong perimeter defense, Minnesota has struggled in this area recently, allowing opponents to connect on nearly 44% of their three-point attempts over the last 3 games. In their first meeting with Dallas this season, the Mavericks hit 16 threes en route to a 120-114 victory. The Mavericks, who also played on Monday, saw Luka Doncic return to the lineup and deliver a stellar 27-point performance in a 120-114 win over the Portland Trail Blazers. That victory improved Dallas' home record to an impressive 10-4 for the season. They've only lost 2 of their last 12 games overall, and their experience on Christmas Day could play a key role. The Mavericks' core players have a combined 18 games of experience playing on this festive occasion, which should help them remain composed. Dallas has been consistent at home, with a 6-1 against the spread record in their last 7 games at the American Airlines Center, and they've defeated the Timberwolves in 7 of their last 10 meetings there. This iteration of the Timberwolves leaves much to be desired. The trade involving Karl Anthony Towns appears to have diminished their once formidable defensive identity. While Minnesota still ranks as a top 5 defensive team, they no longer hold the title of the league's best defense, a distinction they often earned with Towns on the roster. Aside from Anthony Edwards, who averages 25 points per game, the Timberwolves lack elite scoring options. Even if Edwards manages to score 40-plus points, it seems unlikely Minnesota can keep pace with Dallas' potent offense. The Mavericks are currently ranked 10th in the league in defensive efficiency, allowing just 109 points per 100 possessions. Factoring in their home court advantage and superior recent form, Dallas appears to have the edge in this matchup. As has been evident throughout this season, this Timberwolves squad is not the same one that made a deep playoff run in the past. Luka Doncic, who posted a remarkable 50 points and 15 assists in his last Christmas Day game, might not replicate those exact numbers, but the Mavericks should have little trouble handling the struggling Timberwolves. Therefore, the Dallas Mavericks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Dallas boasts one of the most efficient offenses in the league, and with their roster at full strength, they are likely to score at will in this contest. The Mavericks rank 5th in raw points per game, averaging 118.8, and are 4th in offensive efficiency, scoring 115.9 points per 100 possessions. Additionally, they excel from beyond the arc, ranking 6th in the NBA with a 37.7% three-point shooting percentage. Both teams are middle tier in terms of tempo, with the Mavericks using 102.2 possessions per game and the Timberwolves at 100.2 possessions per game. Ultimately, it is Dallas' offense that is likely to dictate the final score and push the game over the projected total. A final score around 116-108 seems plausible in this scenario. Therefore, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.